Welcome to part 2 of the screencast, where this time we'll be importing our After Effects frames that we did before straight into Photoshop, and from here we're going to be able to create and print the frames ready for testing again on the Phonotrope that you've been using. So I want to start off by saying in Photoshop we want to make sure that the view looks like this, and so if you go into Window in Workspaces, we want to make sure that we're using the Essentials or the default workspace, because if you're in any of the others, they can look quite different. So if you go into Workspace Essentials, this is what we're going to use. This is because I want you to be able to see the Layers panel over here and have a decent size of canvas in the middle to be working on. So this file is going to be supplied to you for the session, but you'll notice that there are already groupings and layers in place to show you where the guides and frame numbers are. So if I turn these on and off, you'll be able to notice with this eye icon how that works and where they sit in the document. And here are some pre-populated JPEGs from a test that we've already done, and we've put that in a folder called Design Practice Test, and this is it blank. So I'm going to turn those off, ready for us to begin with our own. So in this next section, I'm going to create a folder. So I'm going to click this button here. I'm going to put new group, and I call this My Frames, and this is going to be for what you're working on. And I'm going to move this down to above the white background because I want your frames to be visible between the white background in the back and all of the frame guides in the front. So to be able to get your frames into this document, you need to open up your file folder, wherever that is on your computer. On this Mac, I had placed these in exports, so you'll notice these are all here. And using Shift to select them all, or your mouse to drag over the top, make sure they're all highlighted, all 33, drag them into your Photoshop window. It looks like we've only dragged in one, but they're actually all on top of each other. So by using your Enter key on your keyboard, just click through until they've all arrived in your project window on the right. So I'm just making sure that they're going through, and you can see it animating. So that's good that they're all in order as we needed them to be when exporting them from After Effects. So I'm just clicking these through just to make sure that I've got them all. Perfect. Okay, so once they're all in, I want to put these all into My Frames folder. So I'm going to select them all again using Shift, and I'm going to drag all of that into the folder My Frames. And I'll just double check that they're in the right place, which they are. Perfect. Okay, so now what I need to do, I need to resize them all to fit into the template. So I'm going to select them all, and by using this bottom right box and the Shift key and the left key on the mouse, I'm going to drag it all so they all become smaller. And remember, they're all still on top of each other. So by using the guides in the document to help me, I'm going to get these into position until it looks about right. So that looks okay to me. And double click that, and that is in place, all of them at the moment. So what I need to do is select each and every one in order. So we know that that one is right in its position. So this is the very first frame. I need to move frame number 2, which in this case is called frame number 1. And I'm going to use the Shift key and drag it into place like this. And the reason I'm using the Shift key is that it disables the computer's ability to move the frame up or down like this. It just means that we can get them in the perfect position. So once they're right and they're looking good to you, you click on the next frame, Shift drag. This can take some time. So if you just make sure that you're saving your document all the time, so File, Save, and that will keep you from tearing your hair out and having to do it over and over again. So instead of boring you and showing me doing this one at a time, I'm going to hide my group and go back to the original group that we've done. So this is what they should look like when they're all pre-populated and ready in position. So I've saved the file. Now what I want to do is make sure that this is ready for printing, because we're going to be turning this into a physical strip of frames that can be used on your phonotropes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure most of these are on, but I'm going to turn off the frame guides, the one line as in between each and every frame. But you'll notice the cut lines here and around each strip are there so that you can cut it properly and glue it together, but they'll look like one seamless shape. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go over to save it as a PDF. I'm going to go File, Save As. What I want to do is save it as a Photoshop PDF. So I'll find a good place for that. So I'm going to go into my After Effects project. I'm just going to save it straight into this folder, and I'm going to call it My Frames as PDF. And I'm going to save that. That's okay to click through that. Also, we want to make sure that's on high quality print and click Save PDF and then Yes. So you'll notice down here it is saving. It's going to export that PDF and it's going to be a really decent quality to be able to print. This document is actually an A4 document, and you need to make sure that you're printing onto A4, and you'll also have a template, a round template that you're going to print as A3. That A3 template looks like this. I'll just show you. It looks like this. You'll recognize it from before, but this will be printed as A3. So going back to what I've just exported, my PDF, just to show you what it looks like, here it is, My Frames as PDF. I'll double click that, and then there you have it. You've got a nice looking PDF ready for print. I'm sure you know how to print. So once you've got this, send it to the printer, print it out as A4, and then cut around the cut lines. So along the top of here, down this edge, underneath the frame numbers, and up. You'll notice these three are all the same shape, but the bottom one here is slightly longer. Make sure that you cut these all quite cleanly and then glue them at the seams and make a perfect ring. That will then be added to your record player and A3 template, ready for rotating and filming again. So thank you. I hope this has been helpful. This is how to export from After Effects, bring into Photoshop, and then print out again for analog use on a Phonotrope. Okay, thank you. See you soon.